Hello and welcome to a conversion of Dragon Breed on the Commodore 64. This was converted by Ash and Dave, famous demo group. Music by Martin Walker, and well, this is let's have a look. Now, unfortunately, this game does have quite a hefty multi-load. If you play this in cassette, back in the day, you have my sympathy. Even on an emulator, it can be quite a slog. But, right. Now, this is well, it's a horizontally scrolling shoot 'em up, but instead of playing a spaceship, you fly a dragon. Now, you may notice the dragon is flickering quite a bit. I believe this was an attempt to say that it was shimmering, and the reason for this is that the 64 just doesn't have enough sprites to, well, it can only have 8 horizontal sprites in a row. So they got around this by alternating the dragon's body on different frames, which gives it this flickering appearance. And to be honest, it's probably the only way they could have done it and kept the sprites this size. I think otherwise we would have had a smaller dragon. As you can see, there's still quite a bit of sprite flicker when you line up with the enemies, but I think this is unavoidable. Now, this is actually quite a surprisingly faithful conversion of the arcade. Now, the arcade game's not great; it's okay, but it's by the people that brought you R-Type, so it's quite hard, obviously, but it's not as good as the R-Type games, I think. But it's okay. It's a good enough fun game, I think. I lost my first life, got a bit careless. I think what's genuinely surprising is the fact that it's quite an ambitious conversion, and they haven't really, apart from the flickering dragon, they haven't compromised on anything really. I mean, you can still get off the dragon and run around, which I thought would have been the first thing to go. Trying to get back on it now. It's got the slight vertical scrolling, which I thought would have also have gone, but it's still here. And it's quite an impressive, quite an ambitious attempt. The flickering dragon may annoy some. I think it does take a bit of getting used to, but you spend most of the game looking at the right hand side of the screen trying to shoot enemies rather than focusing too much on the dragon itself. Now, the graphics are very good, and some of the later levels have some sprite colour mixing, which is a technique that gives you more colours. The Commodore 64 only has 16 colours, but if you mix colours on alternate frames, you can actually produce the appearance of more than 16 colours. And this is one of the earliest games I saw that had that technique. And it's a technique that works well on a real Commodore 64 on a CRT screen, but on an emulator it tends to look a bit flickery. I know this guy's going to get me. Yay! Music by Martin Walker. It's quite a faithful rendition of the Coin-Ops tunes. I don't think it's his best work, but it does the job nicely. And to be honest, it's better than the. I mean, I think he did the music for the Amiga version, and I think the music's far superior in this version. And I think, well, this version also has simultaneous sound effects, which the Amiga version doesn't have either. I'm like just ripping through this level, but unfortunately, it's quite a hard game. I think once you get to level 3 or 4, I think it's 6 levels in total, but I've never seen levels 5 and 6. It's just too hard. And the bosses are quite impressive as well in this game. Hopefully we'll get to one soon. But the boss for level 2 is very impressive, more than, well, it must be a couple of screens high. You can see quite a bit of flicker there. If I line up in a horizontal row, you can see it's a bit too much for the 64. Okay, here we are with the first boss. I don't think we can damage him until he sort of morphs into something else. There we go. I've got to kill that first, actually. I think graphically it's quite nicely done. Bastards. I think that was it. This is... no, it's fine. On to level 2. I doubt I'll get past this level, to be honest. Quite a challenging level, I think. Again, some nice parallax scrolling effect. This is a slightly more organic looking level. I think this is a fantastic conversion of unfortunately not a bad game, but not a great game. It's a shame that the developers weren't given a different game to convert. Maybe a conversion of R-Type 2 or something. I think they might have done a good job of that. So I think their talents were a bit wasted on this this conversion, to be honest. And I don't think anybody could have produced a better version than this. Get back here. There we go. And these little vines slow you down when you move through them. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this was released, well, not at the tail end of the 64's life, but certainly towards the latter stages of it. By this point in time, there have already been quite a lot of top quality shoot 'em ups on 64, so this really couldn't compete with them, I think. That's by no means the worst shoot 'em up I've played, or indeed a bad shoot 'em up. It's still quite good fun to play. It's perhaps not quite as frantic as some games, but I mean it's there's no real gaps in the gameplay. I think there's no long pauses. He says, "Oh no, there we go. We're at the boss." Yeah, this is quite an impressive boss, and I'm bound to get killed because I can't remember what to do. shoot that eye maybe? Oh, that looks right. Oh, lost life. Now, this is where one of my major complaints of the game is. Not only do you, when you lose a life, do you lose your progress with the boss, but it throws you back into halfway through the bloody level. Or at least in the last third of the level. Now, I'm not very keen on games with restart points, so I would definitely have to have it lose a few marks just for that, I think. I mean, obviously this is just... It's inherited this from the coin-op. There's no way around it really. It's not too bad in this level, but some of the... I think even the first level, if you lose a life, then it's very hard to complete the level, I think. Fortunately, there's not too many power-ups that you have to get back. You know, unlike R-Type or Nemesis or Gradius, those games you've got to get back quite a lot of power-ups when you lose a life. But here, there's only a couple to get back up to full strength. I think it just gets a bit dull replaying these scenes again and again if you keep losing lives. So no, I wasn't particularly challenging. There's also a time limit for each level, which I find a bit curious because the game scrolls at a set speed, so you can't really take your time completing the levels. Obviously, the bosses, I can understand having a time limit for them, but not the actual levels themselves. Well, that looked good. Just gonna watch these things getting thrown out. Yeah, you can see this boss is quite impressive, really. It's at least a couple of screens high, maybe more. And he's history. And on to stage 3. Probably knock it on the head as far as this video goes. I think I don't think there's much more I can really show you. I'm sure you get the idea of the game. Right, now this is one of these creatures that uses colour mixing to produce a different shade. Now unfortunately it doesn't really work on an emulator, so it looks like he's flickering between different colours, but on a real 64 it would be a nice sort of shade of brown that you wouldn't normally have. Likewise, there's ones that are different shades of there's ones that is almost turquoise. But unfortunately it doesn't really work on an emulator, which is a shame. But obviously, you know, when the game came out, nobody really thought there'd be emulators, or indeed nobody thought that, you know, CRTs wouldn't exist anymore. It's pretty much a dying technology, isn't it? Right. I think that's all I'll show you for Dragon Breeds. I think it's a good conversion. I think it's quite an impressive conversion of a somewhat mediocre game. So in that regard, I can't rate it too highly, but it's a playable enough game. But I think I'll give it 6.5 out of 10.